The killer whale, Orcinus orca, is an animal we think we know. As the ocean's apex predator, it commands our awe and respect. For decades, we considered them a single, worldwide species. But a growing mountain of scientific evidence reveals this is a dramatic oversimplification. The killer whale isn't one animal. It's a collection of distinct, diverging worlds. We're witnessing evolution in action, uncovering unique cultures, specialized diets, and deep genetic divides that are splitting this single species apart. Today, we're diving into the separate lives of killer whales, exploring how what they eat has fundamentally reshaped who they are. Before we meet these different groups, we need to understand a key concept: the ecotype. An ecotype is a distinct population within a species that's genetically adapted to a specific environment. For killer whales, the single most important environmental factor is their menu. Different groups have specialized in hunting particular prey, and over thousands of years this has triggered a cascade of changes in their bodies, behaviors, and even their DNA. This specialization is a brilliant evolutionary strategy. It reduces competition, allowing multiple, very different types of killer whales to live in the same ocean, sometimes in overlapping territories, without fighting over the same food source. This divergence began a long time ago, somewhere between 126,000 and 700,000 years ago. The lines between these ecotypes, and even between subspecies or separate species, are now so distinct that the entire classification of killer whales is up for debate. Let's start our journey in the North Pacific, home to three of the most studied killer whale ecotypes: the residents, the bigs, killer whales, and the offshores. Though they share the same waters, they live in separate, parallel universes. First, the resident killer whales. These are the fish specialists. They're divided into two major populations: the northern residents, off the coast of Alaska and British Columbia, and the critically endangered southern residents in the Salish Sea near Washington State. Their diet is almost exclusively fish, with a massive preference for the biggest and fattiest salmon available, the Chinook salmon. This dedication to salmon has shaped every part of their existence. Physically, residents have a rounded dorsal fin that hooks backward at the tip. Their saddle patch, the gray marking behind the fin, can be quite variable, and sometimes has black shapes intruding into it, what's known as an open saddle patch. Their social structure is one of the most stable in the animal kingdom. They live in large, complex family groups called pods, all centered on the eldest female. Her children and her children's children stay with her for their entire lives. A single pod can have more than 25 members. Because their prey, fish, can't hear them coming, residents are extremely talkative. They use a constant stream of clicks, whistles, and pulsed calls to communicate and to use echolocation to find their next meal. Each pod has its own unique dialect, a vocal tradition passed down through generations that forms the very core of their culture. Sadly, this specialization is also their vulnerability. The southern resident population is endangered, with only about 70 individuals left. Their fate is tied directly to the health of Chinook salmon populations, which have been devastated by overfishing, pollution, and habitat loss. Next, we have the bigs killer whales, also known as transients. Named after the researcher Dr. Michael Bigg, these orcas are the polar opposite of residents. They are the silent hunters of marine mammals. Their diet is a who's who of the mammal world: seals, sea lions, porpoises, dolphins, and even the calves of giant baleen whales. Physically, bigs killer whales are built for battle. They are generally larger and more robust than residents. Their dorsal fins are straighter and more triangular. Their saddle patches are uniformly gray and always closed, meaning no black marks intrude into the patch. Their social life is also different. They travel in smaller, more discreet groups, usually a mother and her direct offspring, numbering between 3 and 7 individuals. And where residents are noisy, big killer whales are masters of stealth. Their prey has excellent hearing, so silence is their greatest weapon. They hunt using passive listening and their keen senses, coordinating attacks with lethal precision. They only become vocal after a successful kill, as if in celebration. While their populations are showing some signs of growth thanks to an abundance of prey like harbor seals, they face a serious threat from toxins. As apex predators feeding on other predators, toxins like PCBs accumulate in their blubber at incredibly high concentrations, which can damage their immune and reproductive systems. Rounding out the North Pacific trio are the offshore killer whales. For a long time, these were the great mystery of the orca world. As their name suggests, they live far out in the open ocean, often in huge groups of 50 or more. Their diet was a puzzle until scientists noticed a bizarre clue. Their teeth were often worn down flat, right to the gum line. The culprit? Sharks. Evidence now strongly suggests that offshores are specialist shark eaters, and the rough, sandpaper-like skin of their prey grinds down their teeth over a lifetime. Physically, they are the smallest of the 3 North Pacific types, with continuously rounded dorsal fins. Because they are so elusive, their conservation status is less understood, but like all top predators, they're at risk from environmental contaminants and declines in their food supply. Now, let's travel south to the frigid waters of the Antarctic, which host an even greater diversity of killer whales. At least 5 distinct types have been identified here. Type A is the classic Antarctic orca. They look most like the killer whales we're used to, with their crisp black and white coloration. They are the largest Antarctic ecotype and patrol the open, ice-free waters where they hunt Antarctic minke whales. Then we have Type B, which are often called pack ice orcas. They have a distinctive two-tone gray and white coloration and a very large white eye patch. Their skin often has a yellowish tint from a film of diatoms. There are 2 forms of Type B. The larger B1 specializes in hunting seals. They are famous for their ingenious wave-washing technique, where a group of orcas will swim in formation to create a powerful wave that washes a resting seal off an ice floe. The smaller B2 orcas feed on penguins and seals in the straits of the Antarctic Peninsula. Type C, or Ross Sea killer whales, are the smallest of all ecotypes. They also have the two-tone gray color and a unique, forward-slanting eye patch. They live in the thickest pack ice, navigating narrow channels to hunt for their preferred prey, the Antarctic toothfish. This puts them in potential conflict with commercial fisheries, targeting the same fish. Finally, there is Type D, the most unusual and mysterious of them all. First identified from a mass stranding in 1955, they look strikingly different. They have a tiny, almost slit-like white eye patch, a bulbous, rounded head, and a short dorsal fin. They live in the wild, sub-Antarctic waters and have been seen stealing Patagonian toothfish from fishing long lines. So what drives this incredible divergence? It's more than just genetics. The powerful force shaping these separate worlds is culture, the transmission of learned behaviors from one generation to the next. A young killer whale learns its family's specific dialect and its specialized hunting techniques from its mother and other relatives. The wave-washing of Type B orcas isn't an innate instinct. It's a complex, cooperative skill that is taught and learned. This cultural transmission, especially about what to eat and how to get it, reinforces the dietary specializations and acts as a powerful barrier, keeping the ecotypes socially isolated from one another. These cultural and behavioral differences are written in their DNA. Genetic studies have revealed an ancient split between populations. The divide between the mammal-eating Biggs killer whales and the fish-eating residents is particularly profound, estimated to have occurred up to 700,000 years ago. They have not interbred in all that time, despite sharing the same ocean. The genetic gulf is so vast that many scientists now argue they should be classified as entirely separate species. The same is true in the Antarctic. While the split between types B and C seems more recent, the genetic evidence confirms they are separate, reproductively isolated populations. Recognizing these deep divisions has massive implications for conservation. Lumping all killer whales under one data-deficient category, as they are currently listed, is dangerously misleading. Some populations, like the Big's killer whales, are growing, while others, like the southern residents, are on the brink of extinction. And the threats they face are as specialized as their diets. The southern residents need salmon to survive, period. The mammal eaters are threatened by the toxins accumulating in their food chain. And for the Antarctic ecotypes, the single greatest threat is climate change. The melting of sea ice could spell doom for ice-dependent hunters like the Type B1 orcas. Effective conservation cannot be one-size-fits-all. It must be tailored to the unique biology, culture, and habitat of each distinct ecotype. Protecting these diverging worlds requires us to see the killer whale not as a single icon, but as a complex tapestry of unique populations, each with its own story and its own uncertain future in our changing oceans.